The hero and the monster clashed with their ultimate powers, each unleashing their strongest attacks. In the midst of the battle, the hero cried out, "I request God after killing you. If I am reincarnated again, I want you to be my friend. We are both the strongest from our sides, and we have both endured the same loneliness." With those words, he delivered his final strike, ending the monster's life. As a reward, he received a blue magical reincarnation stone, an artifact of SSS grade. Holding it in his hand, the hero whispered, "I finally got it. Now I can be free. Free from this world." Yet, behind this victory lay a hidden truth. The hero had already lived through 2 reincarnations, and now he was stepping into his third. His journey shifted from being the strongest magic swordsman to starting anew as a humble F-Rank adventurer. We see him lying in a quiet grass field. The weight of his past lives heavy upon him. Slowly, he opened his eyes, and before him stood 2 girls and a curious slime, watching silently. The hero gave them a gentle smile, a sign of peace after endless battles. After using the reincarnation stone, the hero slowly opened his eyes and found himself inside a dark cave. Confused, he examined his hands, legs, and clothes, trying to understand his new form. Suddenly, a glowing start screen appeared before him, revealing his name, Aizawa Yuri. As he tried to make sense of his identity, he was suddenly surrounded by grade and grade goblins. From behind him, a demonic voice thundered, "You bastard, what are you doing in this place?" Turning around, Yuri saw a towering goblin lord glaring at him, demanding to know why a mere human had entered its domain. Yuri, bewildered, replied that he didn't even know the answer himself. The goblins and their lord burst into mocking laughter, before the goblin lord accused him of being from the Adventurers Guild and declared he would kill him. With a command, the goblin army charged at Yuri. Oh Jesus, why did it end up like this? Just then, his eyes caught sight of a simple wooden stick lying on the ground in front of him. Yuri touched the wooden stick, and suddenly memories surged. Visions of himself clad in armor, wielding a sword. His body began to act on its own, moving with precision as he cut down E and D grade zombies one by one. The demon lord, watching, mocked his minions, saying, "Don't be afraid. It's just a single human. Go and kill him." As he stood before the demon lord, a glowing status screen appeared, revealing that he had acquired the ranks of swordsman, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. In my past life, I was the sword saint, and prepared himself for the battle that awaited with the goblin lord. The demon lord uses his fire magic on the Yuri. Don't get carried away, mere human. Even if had swordman skill, he couldn't have done anything against my magic. After seeing, he didn't get a scratch. Yuri acquiring fire magic at beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. Goblin Lord wondering how it was possible for a mere human to wield both the powers of a swordsman and the abilities of a mage, unleashing a devastating firestorm. As the flames consumed him, Yuri suddenly remembered fragments of his past lives. In one reincarnation, he had been the Demon Emperor, in another the Sword Saint, and now those memories seemed to merge within him. Yuri recalled his very first life as a slave in a black company, forced to work endlessly without freedom, his second life as the Demon Emperor, and his third as the Sword Saint. He remembered how humans once begged for his help to defeat monsters, only to later despise him as a monster himself. Carrying the weight of betrayal and endless reincarnations, Yuri climbed to the top of a mountain and gazed at the sunset, reflecting on the burden of being used across lifetimes. With weary resolve, he whispered, "I have been reincarnated again, but this time I will not live for others. In this life, I will live for myself, free from the selfish world that has always sought to exploit me."
After reaching the city, the Yuri said, "Thank you, you saved me." The slime responded with its cute little Q sounds, and Yuri also said, "But if you walk into the city with that form, you'll draw attention." With this, Yuri said goodbye to him. Suddenly, a golden light appeared from behind Yuri. The light grew brighter, and the slime transformed from bird form to its original form. Then, without warning, it slipped inside the waistband of Yuri's shirts and settled there. Surprised, Yuri said, "To think you also had this ability. If I take him with me, he might be helpful in some way. When he asked the slime if it wanted to come along, the slime replied with a cheerful Q, meaning yes. After moving a little far, Yuri gave the slime its name, Lime, marking the beginning of its journey with Yuri.
After entering the Adventurers Guild, Yuri walked up to the counter and said, "Excuse me, I want to become an adventurer." The receptionist looked at him and replied, "So, a new registration? All right. To begin with, could you tell me your skills and previous experiences?" Yuri hesitated. Experiences. The receptionist continued, "Because of the increase in people wishing to become adventurers last year, we now take their past experiences into consideration. If you can tell me about your previous activities, it will help your chances." Yuri thought for a moment. Telling them about my past lives would be a bad idea. He dropped the thought and said, I don't have anything special." The girl sighed. "In that case, it may be difficult for you to get selected." At that very moment, a loud quarreling sound came from behind her. She turned and said, "That's Examiner Galio Figelos, age 41. She explained Yuri's situation to Galio. After listening, Galio said, "All right, go prepare that thing," and began to walk away. While leaving, he muttered coldly, "If newbies enter my guild, our dignity will fall. This is not a place for an incompetent like you." Then he stopped and added, "I'll show you the reality."
He brought Yuri to a separate room and pointed at a strange device. This is a magic meter. When you pour magic power into it, it measures an individual's potential. If your potential exceeds 30, you qualify for the adventure examination. Galio said, "There is no way a newbie will get out 30 all of a sudden. Once he knows his strength, he will give up." Yuri said, "In case I break this device, could I still make the examination?" Galio and the girl get silence hearing this and start smiling. Galio said the meter can take up to 99.99, so a newbie magic like you can't break it easily. With this, Yuri says, "I see," and he puts his hand on the magic meter and start pouring his magic. And within a second, the magic meter starts rising. A blue light starts coming out of the meter. The numbers start getting 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and they are still increasing. With this, the glass breaks and the magic meter breaks. Everyone got shocked. With this,
And Yuri said, "There should be no problem with this, right?" Galio said, Well, it seems like the machine was needing maintenance." This is impossible in a shocking manner. He must have done some tricks for sure to break this magic meter. A rotten bastard doing this kind of dishonest actions. I will going to give you punishment. Yuri, duff for this tricks with this. Galio says that I will give you a special permission to do the exam. With this, both of them entered the stadium. Galio said that come follow me. With this, Yuri said, "The old man is really nice fellow. He is helping me." With this, Yuri entered the examination hall, and he said, "If there are so many people, it won't be easy for me." A strange noise echoed through the hall. "Are you troubled?" a girl asked. "This is your first time taking the exam, right?" Yuri turned to see her. Her name was Phil Arnett, a 15-year-old girl. "I've already tried 7 times, Phil said proudly. "So I'm basically a veteran." 7 times. Yuri replied in surprise. "You can take the exam that many times?" Phil lowered her gaze, embarrassed. Yuri muttered, "Looks like I stepped on a mine." Then he added, "Ever since the examiner was replaced, the test has become extremely difficult." Galio, the examiner, raised his voice. "The first exam is fencing. If you can defeat me in a sword duel, you pass." Candidate number 1, Johnny Slanger, stepped forward. The duel began, swords clashing furiously. "You fight well, candidate," Galio said, "but you cannot defeat me." With a single strike, he shattered Johnny's sword. With that ability, it's absurd to aim to be an adventurer. It would be wiser to start again from the basics. The other candidates whispered among themselves. He almost had him. Why can no one beat the examiner? Yuri activated his analysis skill and discovered the truth. Johnny's weapon was a grade F bronze sword, while Galio wielded a grade B shock sword. The difference was overwhelming.
Then Galio called out, "Aizawa Yuri, step forward." Fight me? Yuri sighed. I wanted to observe the examiner's movements a little longer, but it can't be helped. Everyone gasped when they saw Yuri's broken sword. My sword broke when I defeated that bird, Yuri realized. The crowd burst into laughter, even the examiner. A pitiful, smelly sword, Galio mocked. Is that what you're using against me? If you want to retire, now is the time. I don't bully weaklings. If I killed you by accident, it would be a disgrace for me as an examiner. Yuri raised his chin. I can't fight with this sword alone, so I'll use magic to enhance it. Hearing this, Galio grew furious. Don't regret this, you rascal. The duel began. Their swords clashed violently, sparks flying. Suddenly, Yuri used a skill and vanished from Galio's sight. In an instant, he appeared behind the examiner, pressing his blade against Galio's neck. Everyone froze in shock. This is a technique that lets me move behind the enemy, Yuri explained calmly. Through the gaps in their movements, shrinkage. I use it often in my time as the sword saint. I'm glad it worked without problems. The examiner lowered his weapon. It's my defeat. Swear to me, and I will allow you to pass the exam. The hall erupted in cheers. Yuri, you won. Awesome. Yuri smiled. Now, maybe I really am an adventurer. But from the back, a voice rang out.
This examination was designed so that no one could pass. What does that mean? Yuri asks. Did they use some special material to make the target? 3 youngsters step forward and unleash their attacks: Fireball, Wind Edge, Ice Needle, but none of their spells reach the target. It's impossible, they say in despair. Yuri frowns. Why is everyone just using low-rank magic? Is there some rule that says you can only use low-rank spells? The examiner approaches Yuri. What's the problem? Are you just going to watch? I thought you hadn't learned magic yet. If you master one skill in your life, it can be swordsmanship or magic, but it's impossible to acquire both. Magni laughs cruelly. Someone who can't use decent magic has no right to become an adventurer. There are no promising candidates this time either. The examination ends here. But then Yuri raises her hand. She casts a fireball, and the target shatters. A massive explosion erupts in the sky. Everyone is stunned, even Magni himself. This is impossible. An enormous force that binds everything, the crowd whispers. A strange voice echoes. A user of the legendary magic Inferno, in a place like this. They are referring to Yuri. Yuri looks confused. What is she saying? I just used a normal fireball. And a weaker one at that. From outside the kingdom, a black shadow appears, a man in dark robes. He speaks. So, you have awakened. But you are still immature at the moment. I am truly looking forward to meeting you, Yuri. With that, he vanishes into the sky. In a stadium, the examiner collapses in confusion. Yuri sits behind him and asks quietly, Did I pass or not? Yuri received his license card and was assigned the rank of F that the receptionist explained. New adventurers start from F rank, and their rank gradually increases with achievements. When accepting quests, keep this in mind. Before she could say more, Phil suddenly appeared out of nowhere and jumped toward Yuri. Yuri quickly stepped aside, causing Phil to fall flat on the floor. Yuri said, You're the one from the exam. Phil replied, I apologize for the delay in introducing myself. I am Phil Arnett. Their introduction ended there, but Phil continued, I also received my Frank license. After that, a retest was conducted, and I passed successfully. Meanwhile, inside the guild, some adventurers were whispering jealously. That newcomer is standing out too much. We should report this to Zaxen. Later, Yuri thought to himself, how long has it been since I slept this well? In my previous life, and even recently, I fought countless monsters and endured many battles. I've gone through so much. At that moment, a status screen appeared before him, revealing a new skill, Uninterrupted Magic Beginner. Yuri muttered, Unattributed? I don't know what that means. But this feels different. Shrugging it off, he thought, Well, whatever. I received adventurer funds, so I can stay at the inn. I'll sleep a little longer. Then he heard the receptionist's voice echo in his mind. When you become an adventurer, you receive funds to support your activities. But be careful, you must pay them back. The next morning, Phil burst into Yuri's room shouting, "Good morning, Yuri." Yuri made an annoyed, cartoonish face. Phil was shocked to see Yuri sleeping not on a bed, but on a giant slime. Yuri explained, the supplied bed didn't fit, so Lime enlarged itself for me. Many things happened between us, and Lime became my companion. Phil exclaimed, "You're amazing, Yuri. You can even command monsters? Can I touch this slime of yours?" Yuri asked Lime, "Can he squeeze you?" Lime agreed, and Phil happily squished the slime. Yuri then asked, "Why are you here anyway?" Phil remembered, Yes. I came to tell you about the secret exam. Every adventurer must clear it. If they fail, their license is revoked. We're in a provisional state, so if we don't perform well, our licenses will be canceled." Yuri groaned, "Oh my God, what a headache. I just became an adventurer, and now this. Guess I have no choice but to take the secret exam." Phil smiled. "I thought you'd say that, so I already accepted a popular quest for us. Let's go together." Yuri refused immediately. "I prefer to work alone." "Make someone else your companion." Phil grew sad and said dramatically, "I am nobody special like you, Yuri. Not particularly exceptional. Watching you during the exam made me want to become an adventurer and strong, just like you. I want to learn from your strength and become stronger. Please go with me." Yuri thought, going alone might be a bad idea. "Fine, I'll accept Phil's offer." Yuri then said, "Phil, go downstairs. I need to change." Phil left the room, and Yuri walked to the window. He raised his hand and shot a fireball at the clock tower. There, two hidden men had been secretly watching Yuri and Phil. Yuri's fireball destroyed their surveillance camera. The assassins were shocked. He hit the target from over 100 meters away, and so accurately. "We must retreat and report this to Zaxxan." "Did I do something to make enemies?" Just then, Phil shouted from below, "Yuri, are you ready?" Yuri answered, "I'm coming." Yuri and Phil ventured into the forest once again. Yuri sighed, "Another day in the forest. After yesterday, it feels hectic for me." As they walked, Yuri's eyes caught sight of two F-rank monsters, a forest mouse and a forest rabbit. Both creatures panicked at his presence and quickly fled. Yuri remarked, "This quest is more peaceful than I expected." Phil smiled and replied, "We're pretty lucky. Collecting medical herbs is a low-danger quest. It's popular among beginner adventurers, and I've been waiting since morning to do this." Yuri complimented him, "You're amazing, Phil. You know a lot of things." Phil laughed. "Yuri-san, you really know how to praise." Suddenly, Phil noticed Yuri heading the wrong way. Shocked, he said, "The northern forest is this way." Yuri answered doubtfully, "Even if we go this way, we'll still find herbs." Phil grew angry. "You're going the wrong way. That's the eastern forest, full of strong monsters." In a comical scene, Phil grabbed Yuri's hand and ran, shouting, "Just follow me quietly, Yuri-san." Yuri blinked. "Oh, now I realize. I must have woken up facing the eastern forest." Come to think of it, there were only high-ranked monsters there. Speaking of which, I defeated a cockatrice yesterday. Phil teased him, "That's impossible for you." Eventually, they reached their destination. Yuri asked uncertainly, "Where are the herbs, Phil?" Phil frowned. "There should be herbs here. But they're gone. I thought we were the first ones, but someone must have come earlier." At that moment, three men stepped out from behind the trees. Their leader, Zach, a 28-year-old human, smirked. "Hey newbies, we already gathered all the herbs around here." Phil demanded, "Who are you guys?" Zach replied, "We're your seniors." "No need to be tense." Yuri observed, "Oh, I see. You're talking about the F-rank license holders. The other two are sitting over there in the reception." Zach chuckled, "You're still in the provisional license period, huh? We picked too many herbs, so I'll share some with you. Phil gratefully said, "Wow, adventurers are so helpful to each other. Thank you, you're so kind." But when Phil reached out to take the herbs, Zack threw the leaves to the ground and crushed them under his foot, laughing cruelly. "Losers, like you don't deserve to be adventurers. It's not a job for weaklings who can't do anything alone." And he pointed at Yuri, "And clueless kids like you." Then at Phil, "Who don't know anything. Just give up and go back to your hometown." The three mocked them and left. Yuri muttered, "They definitely had ill intentions. Could they be the ones watching us this morning, sending someone to track our steps? Even so, I don't recall doing anything to deserve their hostility." Phil clenched his fists, furious. "Those guys were so rude to me." Yuri nodded. "It's true. If we do nothing, our licenses might get revoked. What should we do?" Just then, a slime popped out of Yuri's pocket. Yuri tossed it upward, saying, "It's up to you now, Lime." The slime split into countless fragments, scattering across the forest. Moments later, the fragments returned, gathering all the herbs into one place. Phil gasped, "What's going on?" Yuri smiled. "In other words, it's fine as long as we get the herbs, right? Well done, Lime. You did a splendid job." Phil was happy, but soon grew sad. "I didn't do anything in this quest." He turned to Yuri. "Excuse me, please go back to the guild ahead of me. There's something I need to do." Yuri asked, "What's wrong?" Phil shook his head. "I'll be right back." Alone in the forest, Phil whispered, "Yuri is so amazing. I really need to become strong. Compared to him, I'm just a kid who can't do anything alone. I don't fit as an adventurer, but I need to do something with my own power." Determined, he searched until he found the herb center. "Now I can become an adventurer too." Suddenly, a wolf emerged from the forest. Phil froze. An E-rank wolf. "I'm only F-rank. Can I win? I'm just a loser who relies on others." He accepted his fate of being killed, until Yuri's voice echoed in his mind. "You are amazing, Phil." Breathless, he praised himself. "I did it." But then, dozens of red eyes glowed in the darkness. A whole pack of wolves advanced. The pack attacked together, but just as Phil was overwhelmed, Yuri appeared, shielding him. "You did a great job, Phil. Leave the rest to me." Phil gasped, "Why are you here?" Yuri smiled. "If you hadn't helped, we wouldn't have found the medical herbs. I can't go alone like this. And killing that wolf earlier was amazing. I'll follow you. You move pretty nimbly."